Thanks for joining us today. My name is Lionel. I work in the admission team. This year's been quite a strange year for everybody, and for us as well. We had to adapt on so many different levels, and this virtual open day is an example of that. Obviously, would have loved to receive you, welcome you on campus, on site, get to know you face to face in person, but we won't be able to do that this year. But still, we really believe and hope that this presentation will answer all your questions and will be helpful to you. Now we can move on to the program of the day. First, we'll do a small presentation of the CEU Cardenal Herrera and the CEU group as a whole. We'll move on to the academic offer, then we'll see the admission process, then the hospitality services, and we'll end with a Q&A session with a few of the veterinary medicine teachers we have here on the faculty. Well, a few numbers there. We don't want to bore you with numbers, but we believe that it's important that you get to know us a bit better. We consider the number one, the most important organization and education group in Spain, because we've been here for so long. It's more than 80 years now. More than 200,000 alumni have walked through our doors and ended up with a diploma thanks to us. It's 24 different centers, education centers. 3 of them are universities, the Valencia one, obviously, the Madrid one, and the Barcelona one. And alongside those universities, we have schools with kindergarten, we have middle school, with high school. So the CEU philosophy, the CEU mission, education mission is really from A to Z and help kids, help teenagers, help adults, be successful and be really a successful person with values that we believe in. That's our mission. Now let's talk about CEU. Before that, just a little map there, so you can see how spread it. CEU is around Spain. We started in Madrid, right at the center, and we moved to Barcelona, Valencia, we're in the south too. So yeah, it's really a nationwide education group. Now a few numbers about our university, the Valencia one. As you can see, a little bit less older than the whole group, but still almost 50 years of history. A lot of teaching staff, more than 1,000 people working here, tons of content in the library and online. And something we're really proud of is the big number of work experience placements you can do here, you can find here. As you may already know, our motto is you are what you do. So we really believe in doing instead of just being 100% in your books. So great work experience placement with in high quality companies. 3 different campus, one in Valencia, another one in Castellón, and the other one, the last one in Elche, near Alicante. And but the one you should be interested in is the one in Valencia, because the veterinary faculty is only here in Valencia. 20 different degrees, a lot of masters too, if you feel like you want to keep on studying after those 5 years of veterinary. So a lot of option, and even PhD programs if you want to stay with us a little bit more. Okay, now obviously the academic excellence is what's most important to us, but we do know that the student experience, it's just not about studying. So the fact that our university is in Valencia is something that is a great asset, I believe, because the life here is really lively. The energy is great. You might have noticed, I don't know, maybe from the color of my skin, I'm not from here. I'm Spanish. I'm Belgian myself, so I know what it is to come to Valencia and experience a new life and a new culture. And I've been loving it. It's really great. We have so much coastline, so many beaches that help. It's always sunny all year round. that helps too. So really, quality of life here in Valencia is definitely excellent. Okay, let's move on to the facilities we have on campus. I told you before, theory is important, obviously, but we really believe that student needs to put their hands on thing as soon as possible, as soon as year one. So two different facilities that will be of interest to you. The first one is the Clinical Veterinary Hospital. We'll see a video later on, small tour of the whole facility, and the teaching and research farm. In those two places, you will be spending a lot of time if you end up studying veterinary with us. As I told you before, as soon as year one. If you're interested in what we do in other faculties, as you can see, we have a dental clinic with real patients. Obviously, in the clinical veterinary hospital, you'll have real patient pets too, and real pet owners that you'll have to deal with. Obviously, you won't be dealing with real pets as early as year one, but when comes the third year, you will start dealing with real pets. We have pharmacy simulation room. We have a newspaper here every month, published every month. We have a radio, 4 hours every days of content. We have a Bloomberg room, which is a stock simulation room, a lot of physiotherapy stuff, advanced simulation facility for medicine and nursing with mannequins, etc., etc. Okay, so let's move on now, and I will show you the video I just told you about, which is a small tour. It's small, which it's 6 minutes long because there's a lot of stuff we want to show you there. So yeah, I'll start the video now, and I'll see you in 6 minutes. Okay. As you can see, it's quite a big building. There's really a lot of different rooms and so many possibilities there. So you can only imagine the implications there and in terms of education and what you could be doing there with us in the upcoming years. Now let's take a look at the academic offer of the faculty. As you may already know, I'm sure you already know, we have three different language groups, two different veterinary groups. The first one, the one you're probably interested in, is the veterinary medicine degree. It's bilingual. It's both in English and Spanish. We have another bilingual group. It's the médecine vétérinaire one. It's first in French and then in Spanish. And we have the last one, grado en veterinaria, entirely taught in Spanish. For the first two bilingual degrees, it's only the first 3 semesters will be respectively in English and in French. So do know that at some point you will have to study in Spanish. But you have to know already that even if you don't speak a single word of Spanish now, it is totally doable. A lot of students every year when they first get here, they don't speak a single word of Spanish and they still manage to make the switch when the fourth semester come to study in Spanish. Why? Because we'll be helping you obviously with a lot of Spanish content, Spanish classes. We'll see more about that when we talk about the hospitality services. Another thing that we want you to know is that it's something that we're proud of, that the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine is the only one between all the private universities in Spain to have the EAEVE accreditation. I don't know if you can read that. It's quite small, but EAEVE stands for European Association of Establishment for Veterinary Education. This group is really important when it comes to the veterinary medicine education to be recognized worldwide, but especially within the European community. This means that as soon as you're done studying with us, you can obviously study here, work here as a vet, but you can choose to go back to your country or work wherever you want within the EU borders without the need to do lengthy procedures of homologation. It will be recognized as it is. It's good to know, important to know. Now let's take a look at the academic fees. First thing really that we need you to know, those are the 2020-2021 academic fees. The 2020 and 22 academic fees aren't published yet. They should be in a few weeks, in a few months. In the meantime, it's nice to have those so you can have a general idea about the cost of studying here. So there might be a slight change between the one you're seeing now and the one you might have to pay in the future, but obviously it won't double, it won't triple. We're just talking about a few hundreds euros, okay? The total cost for the veterinary medicine is 16,280 euros. Another important aspect of the fees that you need to know, first off, is that on top of the total academic year price that you see there, you have to add the 600 euros of the hospitality pack. The hospitality pack are the international fees. It's compulsory for every international student. It's not just fees, but it comes with a lot of services that might be helpful to you, as we will see later on. So 16 plus the 600 euros, it's almost 17,000 euros to study 1 year in veterinary medicine. It's a little bit less for the French bilingual degree, and it's 11,000 euros for the veterinary degree. Each time you have to add the 600 euros for hospitality pack. As you can see, we split the full amount between pre-enrollment, enrollment, and monthly fees. Obviously, if you sum everything up, the total is the total that you see at the end. Do know that in order to book your place, which we will ask you to do when you get admitted, you have to pay both pre-enrollment and enrollment, and as well hospitality fees to book your place. So, for example, if you get admitted in veterinary medicine, you have to pay pre-enrollment, enrollment, which sums up to 5,000 euros, plus hospitality pack, which will lead to 5,600 euros. It might seem like a big sum, but do know that once you book your place, you won't have to pay any single penny to CEU until October of next year, when we will start the monthly installments. There are 9 monthly installments from October to June. Okay, and if you add everything up, obviously you get the total there. On top of which, I let me recall you have to add the hospitality pack. Okay, now let's move on to the admission process. First, we'll start with the requirements. It's important for you to know, obviously, before you start the process, to make sure that you meet them. There are 2 main requirements there. One with the minimum level of English, the minimum level of English, sorry. And the other one is regarding the grades. So you need to have a C1 in English. Obviously, if you are a native speaker, you can forget about all that. If you're not, you either have to give us a certificate of English, an official one, obviously from Cambridge, etc., or you can do a test online on our internet page. To us, both of those options are equally valid. Okay, so you don't have to take a Cambridge test, especially for us. We have the other option for you. It's a free option, so whatever you think is more pertinent and useful to you. So the other requirements are the average grade. You need to have an average grade of 65% at the end of high school. If you haven't finished high school yet, we'll look at your current results of what you've had so far in the previous year. If you want to translate those 65% to other education system, like for example the British one, you will need to have 5 GCSEs passed, 3 A levels, 2 of them in science field, and those 3 A levels need to be at least Bs. Okay, and if you study international baccalaureates, then you need 24 IB points. So 2 requirements: the minimum English level needs to be a C1, and the average grade needs to be 65%. If you haven't finished high school yet, you have to know that you will need to have a 65% minimum at the end of high school for you to be officially and fully admitted here. If you haven't finished yet, your admission will be conditional, and we'll have to wait for the final results. Okay, now let's move to the steps, the different steps you'll have to go through in order to do the admission process. The first one is always the same one, whatever you're going to be studying, is fill the admission form on our website. It's easy to find. It's on the new student section. The data we'll be asking you is pretty much basic and the one you're used to, but we also we will ask you to upload the academic documentation we need. We will need all the grades from the last 3 years of high school. If you haven't finished high school, obviously just give us what you've had so far, and we will need the final diploma of high school too. We'll need a copy of your ID and a photo. Once you've filled up everything and you've all documentation and data, you'll be able to choose a date for the Skype interview, the admission interview, which obviously, especially today with the pandemic, will be done through Skype. Just so you know, it's just a simple interview about your motivation, about why you want to study with us. It lasts around 20-30 minutes. And after you're done with the interview, you'll have to do a language test. Not always, as I told you before, you can give us a certificate, like a Cambridge one that tells that you have a C1 level. If you give that to us, then you won't have to do a language test. And if you're a native speaker, if you're an English-born speaker, then obviously you won't have to do the language test for obvious reason. If you don't have the certificate, then you have to do the language test. It's online, it's on your internet. It's a small test. It's 50 questions. It's just written, so it should be fast and easy to do. Once you've done everything, which is the online application form with documentation, the interview, and finally the language test if necessary. Then you can be considered, done, and the only thing you have to do is wait a small amount of time. We always try to do our best to give you an answer as soon as possible, so you can organize yourself and don't end up super stressed. In 48 hours, usually we give you an answer by email. If you are accepted, then the next thing you need to do is just book your place. The official deadline is 1 week after receiving the official admission letter. If for some reason you need just a couple of days more to organize yourself financial-wise, etc., just send an email and we'll do our best to be flexible regarding that. Now let's move on to the hospitality services. Those services are part of the International Student Service Department. This department is just about helping international students, and those services have been tailor-made especially for international students and especially for them to be at ease, and so they can have a smooth arrival here, smooth adaptation. And it's not just about the arrival. The hospitality department, the International Student Service, will be available to international students throughout the whole degree. Okay, so it's your go-to place whenever you need help with procedures that are related with you being international. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the different services they offer. I think the two most important one are will be helping you a lot with the homologation of your academic documentation, and will be helping you with your stay in order to make it legal here in Spain. Obviously, you have to do a few procedures. You'll need to get an EA, which is just an ID number for foreigners, and if you have a visa, we'll help you renew it. Those procedures, it's a different administration, it's a different language, can be quite hard to do. I can tell you myself, I've had to do it without any help, and it was hell. So it can be really useful to have the help of the PAC. Besides that, we'll help you with the accommodation. We have a lot of partnership with real estate agencies, we have contacts in private residencies too, so we'll be able to find that accommodation that really suits your need and suits your budget. You have a free pickup service, a taxi at the airport, a free first night in a hotel, free SIM card, free transport card. Something really interesting too, we mentioned before that only the 3 first semesters are in English or in French for the bilingual degrees. So we'll be helping you a lot with that. First, before you start studying with us during the summer, we'll give you intense Spanish courses. It's a 4-week-long course. It's free. It's part of the pack. And you'll have access to free language classes throughout the whole degree. Last thing that I mentioned, we'll help you open a bank account, and we have an optional health insurance. So the cost is not part of the hospitality pack cost, but if you're interested in working with our partner, we can help you and facilitate everything there. Well, that's pretty much it. I know it was a lot of information, really, in those 30 minutes that I've been talking to you. So now we have the Q&A session that I'm sure you've been looking forward to. We have one teacher now that will join us, that will be able to that will be able to help you with every academic related question. And if you have a question regarding the admission process, I'll be the one answering them. So yeah, now we'll start. One last thing you need to know. If you want to ask a question, just let us know, raising your hand through the team application, and we'll do our best to make it as smooth as possible. Yeah, just okay. Okay, to just inform you that there's no teacher there, which is called Esther. So we have Esther and Maria. We should see their faces soon, I believe, when you guys have questions. So please don't be shy. Please don't, if you have any question, whether you want to type it down in the chat or you want to just put the microphone on or switch the camera off, it's up to you. But that's the perfect space for you to, this opportunity won't be, I'm not going to say it's a one-time opportunity, but almost. So if you want to talk directly with somebody from the faculty, please go ahead and yeah, let us know what you're interested in. Anybody? Okay, we have Elisa.
Hi. So I wanted to know how like international students coped with the COVID pandemic this year and like how lessons were adapted to it.
Okay, that's a great question, Elisa. That's an obvious question, right? With the context we live in these days. So what we've done is that we got pretty lucky because the confinement here just hit us when we were in vacation. I'm not sure it's lucky is the right term, but for the students probably, because during that 1 week holiday we've had, we managed to work really hard on creating platforms so the students could not lose anything. All the classes were done online, so there weren't a single class missed, and that's something we're kind of proud of. But currently, what we've been offering when we're talking about this very academic year is that student has had the chance to either study online or here on campus. Obviously, here on campus, we are making sure and we respecting every security and hygiene norm that you could think of. We haven't had any story of the virus spreading here on campus. We've had students with the COVID, but as we know, each of them got the COVID outside of campus. So as the campus is still a COVID-free campus, and obviously there's a lot of doubts about what will be next and when the pandemic will stop. So as long as students can travel to the campus, we'll maintain the online courses, just so nobody has to miss a single class.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Elisa. I think Melis wanted to add something to ask us.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Melis.
Basically, during my interview, so I'm doing the new international A level. Sorry, the new international A level system.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, during my interview, I was told that we need a pass, basically, to be like fully accepted. And in the new system, we're being told that the thresholds are so for a pass, it's basically an E, but that is from 54 to 65%. So would that affect because if they write it in our application, basically we get like D's, which is like 65 to 72%, I think. Would that affect where we are accepted, or would they just look at the percentage mostly?
Well, it's hard to say. If there had been changes, obviously we'll look at them and make sure that our system stays fair as possible. What I advise you to do is send us your documentation to international, to our email address. I'm sure you have it already. It's international@uchcu.es, and we'll look through it as soon as possible to let you know if it's valid or not. I think that's the easiest way to do it, because right now online, just we need to take a look at it just to confirm that it's okay. But don't worry, if there had been changes, we'll take a look at them and we make sure that we take them into account.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else that'd like to ask a question?
Yes, I would, please. It's Coralie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to ask about the curriculum. if you do all the courses like parallel to each other, or if you do one course and then when you examine that one, you start with the next one. Do you understand my question?
I believe I do, but I think
Yeah.
the person that should answer that is probably one of the teacher. They know
Okay.
more about, you know, the academic part of the degree and the
Yeah.
program is done, is made. So maybe I don't know if either Maria or Esther could answer.
So yeah, are they here now, or I'm sorry, I'm
It
at
should
work,
be
so
here.
I can't
Sorry
really
about
hear.
the logistic. We'll have to wait
No,
a
it
little bit
doesn't.
so we can, you know, turn
No
on the
problem.
microphone and webcams.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria. Could you please repeat the question about, it was about equine?
No, about the curriculum. Like if you do all the courses parallel to each other, or if you do one course, then examine that one, and then start with the next one.
But you mean about the practicals and all the process during the semester?
Or like if you have one course about one theme, and if you do that course in the same time as another one, or if you do one separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, have you checked the plan on the veterinary degree?
Yeah, I
Year?
did, and I did, and I talked to a friend that goes there, and she said that you have like sometimes you do courses parallel to each other, so you have different courses at the same time. Um, I don't know. I just wanted
Yes,
to ask about it.
that's correct. We will organize, well, the course is organized in subjects. So within this one semester, you can have 5 subjects, for example. And in further years, from second year, you can have 1 year subjects or divided in semesters. But mainly, yes, you do everything at the same time. So all students stay in the faculty all day for practicals or workshops, or depending on the pandemic situation, obviously. But yeah, you can do everything. Well, you should do everything at the same time. But it is worth. It is super fun, and it is worth.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other question? So maybe I don't know if that's of interest to you, and I don't know if you speak some Spanish already, but maybe speak a little bit about how easy or how difficult is the transition between the third and the fourth semester. I don't know if Esther could let us know about that and how students usually do when they have to change from English to Spanish at the start of the fourth semester. Just 1 second so we can, turn microphone and webcam on. Again, while we are turning the microphone on and video on of Esther, don't hesitate. Really, there's no dumb question, there's no wrong question, there's no bad questions. We understand that it's a huge step for you moving from high school to university, especially if you have to change country and everything. So we understand that you must have a lot of questions and maybe insecurities or anything. So do know that it's a safe place to share. We won't see your face if you don't want to. You can send it by chat. So go ahead. Any question is valid and is good enough. So we're waiting on Esther. I think Melis, I think you've raised your hand again, so we'll give you, yeah, go ahead, Melis.
Yes, thank you. Hi again. I was also wondering, what year do we usually start the like practicals around like helping around the clinic and stuff like that?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's better if somebody from the faculty answer that question. That's a great question, Melis. I don't know if Maria or Esther, and if Maria's there, if you can maybe answer both questions at a time. The one I asked myself and that one. Try again, Maria.
Sure. About the second question, because I'm waiting if Esther wants to say anything else. The thing is, on first year, you actually start doing practicals inside the hospital regarding anatomy and regarding biochem, histology, or in the hospital or in the lab. So since first year, you start to learn how to localize all the different areas, clinical areas, and you start doing clinical practice from second year on. So you can try everything from the beginning.
And yeah, Maria, about is it easy for the students generally to switch from Spanish to English? Can you tell us a bit about that?
The thing is, the hardest is for students coming from Norway and these different related to the language, I mean, regions, but for France, Italy, students coming from Europe in general, or English native students, it is quite easy. I mean, almost 80% of the students, almost all my students, and the first year, talking in well level, in a fine level of Spanish, and can be able to communicate with other teachers and students, and because they live here, so it is not as hard as it seems.
Okay, great, thank you. I think Elisa want to ask another question. Go ahead, Elisa, you can turn your microphone on.
I wanted to know if it's optional to basically apply for AIRE, or like if it's compulsory.
Yeah,
Apply for? I'm sorry, I couldn't get that. Elisa, could you give me more? Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Like becoming a once we come like there to Valencia, if we have to like apply for something to like become a citizen, like a Spanish citizen, or like if we can keep our normal like citizenship from the country we come from.
Don't worry. One thing doesn't exclude the other. It's just a provisional ID card that you will have that will make things easier for you here. So, let's say you want to start a new contract with a mobile phone company. They will ask for a NIE, which is that ID number for foreigners. So you will need that. You will need it for a convenient reason, just for your day-to-day life. But it's not compulsory. I think if you were to ask it to the government of Spain, they would say it is. But maybe if you don't have your official residence here in Spain, you don't have to do it. But we really advise you to do it. We recommend you to do it, because it will make your life easier, especially if you stay with it 5 years. It will really be useful to you. But don't worry about that. It's not one thing or another. You will still have your citizenship, your regular citizenship. It's just on top of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think Nadia has a question. Go ahead, Nadia. You can turn your microphone on.
Yes, hi. So my question was about the clinical practices that you were talking earlier, I think, Maria. And I wanted to know what was the difference between those and the internships. if there are any, and what are the students expected to do during clinical practice or during internships?
Okay, I think this one's for Maria. I just let you answer that, Maria.
Hello, Nadia.
Hi.
So for clinical practice, the students have to achieve a goal, a list of goals, and in order to pass the subject. And related to the internships, a lot of different areas, clinical areas in the hospital offer 1 year or 1 semester collaborations for students starting from first year. So you can basically help the service, all the area, all the patients, and depending on for example, in anatomy, since I am the anatomy teacher, we normally work with the internship students in order, for example, to prepare academic activities or research projects or that normal academic activities.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Elisa, go ahead. I think you have a question for us.
Sorry, I didn't click like the hands up thing.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay, don't worry about that. Any other question regarding the admission process maybe, or anything related to academic part? Anything that comes to mind? Well, I suppose that everything was clear enough during my presentation. I'm glad that it went well, but this is not the end, obviously. If you have any question in the future, you know that there are different ways for you to contact us. You can reach us by phone, you can reach us by email. We can also talk through WhatsApp if that's convenient to you. So really, anything regarding the university, regarding the admission process, academic related question, just get in touch with us as soon as you need us. Well, I think that's it. Then we can call it a wrap. Thanks everybody for attending. Thanks Maria. Thanks Esther for being there. And we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch. Good luck to you all. And I hope to see you around here in a few months. Bye-bye.